Hi all, and welcome to my new video related to Bitcoin education. This is the seventh and last video related to Bitcoin mining and energy consumption. It will be about the conclusion of all what we have seen so far, and I will make a resume related to which is my opinion on this topic. We start again with the abstract. So Bitcoin mining industry is commonly misunderstood. The common narrative and the average person think that Bitcoin mining consumes too much energy and that Bitcoin mining is bad for the environment. But the reality is very different. Bitcoin mining is a breakthrough in the energy industry. To understand it, a person should know how Bitcoin mining and how blockchain work. Two complex topics, and almost no one bothered to study these topics. Even a better understanding will come from knowledge of monetary history. And the financial world will take time. I don't know if it will be a few years, especially I hope less, maybe one or two, to understand Bitcoin mining. As definition, let's start with the definition. Bitcoin mining is the process of verifying new transaction to the Bitcoin digital currency system, as well as the process by which new Bitcoin enter into circulation. In particular, every 10 minutes, a new block is created and miners spend energy in order to find a hash that is lower than the target. The higher the difficulty adjustment is, the more energy is needed, and the lower, then the less energy is needed. But energy is used is not related to the amount of transaction. This is an important topic. And if you hear someone pointing out the energy used per transaction, this statement make no sense because you can have the same energy use with 10 times more transactions. And this only shows that this person has a very poor knowledge on Bitcoin mining. I encourage you, if a person is making this argument, disregard every statement he is making or she is making on Bitcoin because he has very poor knowledge on Bitcoin. As I said before, which are the misconceptions, and this will be Bitcoin mining consumes too much energy and Bitcoin mining is bad for the environment. Reasons, superficially, both statements seems to be true. If a person doesn't know about Bitcoin, she hear, oh, they're using a lot of energy, is taking the energy from us, is too much energy, and then using CO2 is bad for the environment. But in reality, if a person study blockchain and study Bitcoin mining, the reality is completely different. And a lot of studying and knowledge is needed to debunk them. And also we have some statements like Bitcoin is consuming more energy than a small country are simply misleading. We saw in the part one that in reality Bitcoin is consuming about 0.15% of the total energy, and there is the most renewable industry in the world, much higher than any other. The conclusion, the statements, and these are the statements in my conclusion. And for me, this topic is very important because I think the two statements, Bitcoin is bad for the environment, Bitcoin consumes too much energy, are now the strongest and the hardest to be debunked because a lot of study is needed and the common narrative is stuck with these misconceptions. Once we will this misconception will be debunked, then there will be many more people who will be in favor of Bitcoin. And considering that they are false, it will just take time to be debunked, but it will be among the strongest. Other misconceptions like Bitcoin has no intrinsic value, is too volatile, it's easier to debunk. This a person need to study and spend hours in understanding how blockchain works and how energy industry works. Let's move on and discuss and say which are the conclusion of all the videos that I made so far. First, and most important, Bitcoin is not consuming the world's energy. It's not consuming the energy that is used for hospital or for industry or for residential. But Bitcoin is providing a powerful market incentives for energy producers worldwide to increase the production of cheap and renewable energy. Second, Bitcoin mining is adding energy to the total world production of energy. Every time the society did a step forward in our civilization, agriculture revolution, industrial revolution, for example, the total energy produced increased, and Bitcoin mining is adding the energy produced. Then Bitcoins made the development of cheap, reliable source of electricity very rewarding. It's the only technology that can do this. And Bitcoin is the only technology that can use excess, surplus, and stranded energy. It is also the only technology that can stabilize the grid. And this is a huge implication. We never had a technology that can use excess of energy, surplus of energy, stranded energy, and in general a technology that can help in stabilizing the grid. And Bitcoin, by combusting methane instead of letting it being flared and being a portion of that around 8% being unburned in the atmosphere, is contributing to fight the climate change. And this you can see in the video related exactly for this purpose. Thanks to difficulty adjustment, Bitcoin could grow 1,000-fold, still not consuming any more energy that humanity has wasted, because it will grow consuming primarily wasted energy because it has zero opportunity cost and very few potential buyers other than Bitcoin. And in one sentence, Bitcoin mining is a breakthrough in the energy industry. One day, the world will understand it. It will just take time. Now, I would like also to connect, I share this also with in other presentations. So Bitcoin is a technological, financial, energetic leap forward for humanity. And what I discussed was about only the energetic, but then there are also other two breakthroughs. First is monetary proposition with its absolute scarcity and its properties that make it a perfect asset to be sellable across time, space, and scale. Bitcoin is the best form of money we have ever had, a breakthrough in a monetary history. Then we have a technological proposition with the Bitcoin blockchain. We can finally send value digitally without the need of a central authority, a technological breakthrough. Is a technological breakthrough as it was in the 15th century when Johannes Gutenberg um, invented the printing press, or when the airplane was invented from the Wright brothers. Finally we had the first airplane flying, or when internet was created, when the steam invented, or when the steam engine was invented. Every time we had one of these inventions, the course of our society changed. And on 31st October 2008, it was the day when Satoshi Nakamoto sent the email to the cyberpunks community with the white paper of Bitcoin. The course of our society changed for the better. It's just most of the world still is not understanding it. And the third one, as we discussed in 7 videos, and I think now it will be easier for you to understand, Bitcoin mining is the only technology that can make use of excess of energy, surplus of energy, and stranded energy, all renewable, can help to fight climate change, and is making all of this is making Bitcoin mining a breakthrough in the energy industry. Now, if it is so clear, why then is not so well recognized worldwide? Because it's very hard to fully understand Bitcoin. It is a new technology and there have always been difficulty to understand new technology. Uh, Most of the people, also very smart people, didn't understand the car, didn't understand the electricity, or didn't understand the internet, or didn't really see the potential and the value of the internet. Most of the media were against all these invention that now we are using daily. And firstly, is a new technology and involves many different subjects. Bitcoin is way more complex than electricity, than the car and the internet. And a person should have knowledge on finance, economics, investing, monetary history, human psychology, philosophical politics, history, game theory, complex math, technology, computer science, and energy industry. It's a lot. It's fascinating. I gained this knowledge in the last 2 years. And as Michael Saylor is saying, at least 100 hours of study are required to appreciate it, and many more to fully understand it. But barely no one did this effort because it looks like everyone is too busy with something else, and they are missing the biggest engineering monetary revolution of human history because being busy with something else. Without, in fact, the necessary knowledge, the average person is stuck with the misleading statements in the common narrative. And here you can see many that I heard. Some I also believed in the past. I studied, and all these misconceptions, they were just debunked because I spent many hours in trying to understand Bitcoin. Many people say it's too risky, too volatile, it's used by criminals, it's too late to buy it now, or it can be replaced by another coin, or it's coming from nowhere, it can be hacked, it consumes too much energy, as we discussed, bad for the environment, it doesn't yield periodic earnings, and it has a very short history. All these or don't make sense because poor knowledge, or they are not relevant for Bitcoin value proposition. And with time, one by one, they will all be debunked. And I believe the two, as I said before, it consumes too much energy and is bad for the environment. They will be the ones who will take the most, but it will be very important when the world will understand Bitcoin mining so that because it's a big portion of the Bitcoin mining, Bitcoin proposition. Once it is understood what exactly Bitcoin mining is, we will have many, many more people in favor of Bitcoin and in favor of Bitcoin mining. But Bitcoiners, people who understood Bitcoin, are patient. We know that the topic is very complex, and most of the people, the vast majority, didn't do the work. It's like the proof of work to understand it. So it's normal, they are stuck with misconception. But with time, they will all be debunked. There will be more and more people to understand Bitcoin. These people will also try to teach or to educate other people on the real meaning of Bitcoin. And we don't need to have every person understanding Bitcoin. We just need to reach a tipping point. Once we will have enough people to understand Bitcoin, then the whole narrative will shift. And Bitcoin miners knows all of this, so we are patient and we are just waiting the rest of the world to understand Bitcoin. My recommendation is always spend time in learning about Bitcoin. Then that's it for this presentation, and I hope you enjoyed both this presentation and all the others I made in Bitcoin mining. And see you in one of the next videos. Bye bye.